remember a fella coming in the middle of the road, machine gun, doo, 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 doo. Bouncer's been hit straight in the head, standing next to me. I just remember all the little youngsters like standing over his body, jumping over the bar. So like round my ways, we had a lot of gang activity. We had like G Street, Old Tray 1, Hotspot. It was absolutely crazy going back to like 2002 all the way to the present. Now, I've nearly been shot about 20 times. My brother got shot in front of me 5 times. I've had a bouncer shot in his head while he was standing next to me. This is all on the same road, on Wandsworth Road.
I came from Peckham, in a sense, so coming from Jamaica, at the young age I was, in a sense, started school in year 8 when I came over. And from then I moved to Peckham, and growing up in Peckham, meeting friends, in a sense, where I came from, I wouldn't say I came from a poverty place or anything like that, in a sense, because obviously I had a good family, in a sense. My dad was kind of the same thing on the roads.
Do you know what's crazy? My dad's been in prison majority of my life. But one thing I say, like, I've never gone without, you know, like birthdays, Christmases, I've always had everything I wanted. But it's only as I'm older, it's my dad I needed. I didn't need gifts, I needed my dad being there, you know. For school, for me, I found it difficult. I was a guy with no confidence. So I was always that quiet kid in class, and if someone was to make a joke with me, I'd absolutely go mental. So I remember we was playing for a football team, and no one didn't really like the football manager. And someone's done the football manager in the back of the head with something, and that was the first time I've ever been nicked for anything. So I got nicked for GBH when I was 14 years old. I got took to Balham Youth Court, and there's a few witnesses there, innit? So they said that it wasn't me who done it. So that was my first ever thing I got nicked for, and obviously they found me not guilty. After that, I started selling drugs. I got nicked for a few times for like £10 and £20 draws here and there. It's not until I got to 18, I got nicked for a robbery in Streatham, cash in transit. I remember there's going into the train station to fill up the cash machine. I followed him in there, and then I just grabbed the cassette. But this year, do you remember when like the London tube bombings were going off the buses? All the train stations were on high alert. So as I grabbed the cassette, there's already armed police in this train station in Streatham. I've grabbed it, looked, I was like, oh my God. I've had to throw the cassette back at the police, run, got to the getaway vehicle. My driver wasn't in the car. He was on the other side of the road having a piss. So I've had to keep, I run straight past the car, got nicked at the end of the road behind Caesars in Streatham. That long road there, I got nicked at the end of the road.
Yeah, for me, like, I got arrested for robbery when I was in school. And then there was a group of us, and someone obviously robbed someone, and because of what I was wearing, I was distinctive, you know what I'm saying to you? I wouldn't say I don't know what was going on. I used to sell weed here and there, you understand, but it was not until my mum, you understand, she didn't realise what was going on. So for me, I think I was about, 13, 14? From drugs to knife, from knife to guns, you know what I'm saying to you? It was actually crazy because it become a thing like, we wasn't actually out there trying to put people down or, you know, something to hurt people, but we was more the defenders instead of the oppressors. You understand? So we wasn't like my friend, they'll rob people, whatever, but then we had to deal with the backlash. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of hectic. The life that man's always involved in shooting, stabbings, it was crazy.
I actually enjoyed it. I used to sit in my front room. I used to do like, I get a box of weed and pull it all in £10 and £20 drawers. And I watch like a box set. I remember watching Lord of the Rings, the trilogy. I sat there for the whole day watching the whole thing, just bagging up weed. I used to enjoy it. I used to have 2 gates on my door, on my house. I have one there, then my door, and then like a meter behind I have another gate. So when people come, I can just open the door. They can't get that. I remember my house getting raided one time, and the police got the angle grinder. I was like, oh God. So I've opened the door, I was like, right mate, and I shut it again because I know they got to get through that door, and that door. But this time I'm just putting everything down the toilet and stuff and that, you know. I was in a little pub on Wandsworth Road. This is the same place where my brother got shot. Standing outside, I remember a fella coming in the middle of the road, machine gun, doo, 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 doo. Bouncer's been hit straight in the head, standing next to me. I just remember all the little youngsters like standing over his body, jumping over the bar. And you know, it's mad, these things started they was happening regular. So when I hear that someone's died now, I'm like, oh, okay, like it's coming like it's normal for me, you know?
Yeah.
That's probably the worst thing I've witnessed, other than that, my brother being shot and I had to cover up all the holes on his back and stuff.
That's like in the daylight.
Yeah, so that one was in the evening. We used to have a pub there called the SW8 bar. It's the same place where my brother got shot. He pulled up on a motorbike, bap, 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 bap. He got hit 5 times. My other pal got hit 5 times. The thing is, I was standing right in front of them, so they're behind me. So I was only skinny at the time, so if I got hit with them 5, I'm going to be dead, because my brother was about 17 stone at the time, so he took all the shots from hitting me. I remember getting to the bottom of this little ramp. I'm already on the phone to the ambulance, because I think my brother's dead. I'm like, yeah, my brother's dead, can you come and pick him up? Like, I wasn't even thinking, that's all I said, and I put the phone down. I said where he was, SW8 bar, put the phone down. I remember the motorbike drove off, then I run back up the hill, pulled my brother's clothes off, started covering up the holes. Armed police come, then the ambulance come. I knew my brother was all right when he said, oh, can you take the money out of my pocket? Because he had a couple quid in his pocket. So I knew he was going to be all right. And I think he was in hospital for about a week.
Yeah, for me, I'm not going to lie. Like, when I was involved, like, I didn't care. For long as I got my machine, I didn't care. You know what I'm saying to you? Then getting links, buying big, you know, big machine guns and that, then having things with silencers and that. It was just kind of, like, for me, it was just like, right, like, you see this on TV.
Did it excite you? Didn't it?
It's just like, yeah, it's exciting and that. But like I said, there's times, you understand, that people are getting and what them kind of things doing, understand, it's crazy because it's always something like this, yeah. You might go for someone and trying to shoot after this person could be the other person, the innocent person, end up getting, you know what I'm saying to you? And that's how mad it is.
Like, all of my friends who were doing like 30 wrecks and that, not saying it is them, I don't know who done it or whatever, but it was someone who was nothing to do with any gangs or any estate. It's always like a random person getting hit.
Was there anything you would never do crime-wise? Was there a limit?
There was no limit.
I don't think there was no limit.
There was no limit. There was no one telling me no. I remember getting out of the car, stuck the gun to the geezer's head, you know, just to get the cash cassette off him. Yeah. I'm thinking he's just going to give it up. Like, they're insured for this money. I start the gun to him. My man has swung a punch from me. So I've had to round it and I've gun bucked him about 8 times. But you know when, like, you got tunnel vision, you don't realise how much times you've hit someone. I've knocked all this geezer's teeth out and he's laid out on the floor. So that one's kind of stuck with me because I just remember, like, bits of blood just coming out every time I hit him. So that's actually what I went to prison for, what I received the 17 years for.
Marlon, what did get you into prison? What was the one?
When I got into prison?
Yeah, which one did?
The firearms. When I got nicked, basically they found a car full of stash of firearms. And that went on the news. And then they started, I was on the run for like 3 months, you understand? Yeah, this is the day I got arrested. As we were driving, he's following my instructions. So I said, take the right. He took the right, take the left quick, you know what I'm saying? So then a car come and I'm like, right. But as I'm watching everything in the mirror, I'm watching everything in the mirror, you know. So I'm like, something like, this is it, you know. And we're driving and then the bike came. I said, no, that bike's following us. You know, it was the CBR 1000. And he's like, no, man, he's not following us. It's some red bike. And I said, take the right. So as he's taking the right here, at the traffic light, you know what I'm saying to you, you can't go left, you know what I'm saying to you. So I said to him, turn, you know, so he's turned back to the main road. So as he turned, the bike stopped. You understand? Like, they stopped, they couldn't turn. So I said,
made eye contact?
Yeah. So I said, yeah, definitely. So as we're driving, other cars are coming, you know, something. So I'm still tempted to drive, you know. We got round to Ellesbury Estate, near E Street Market. So I said to myself, I can jump out the car now and run into the market and I'm gone. So I said, no, I don't want to run. So I said, I want to know what they got on me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm saying, if I can fight the case, I'll fight the case. And I stayed in the car. All I can see is 3 cars back to back, just, you know, coming fast. And I'm saying, right, I can see the hats on as well. And I said, okay. So they jumped out and I shot the tyres out. And I'm just sitting in the van.
They shot the tyres out?
Yeah, I shot the tyres out. I'm sitting in the van and I'm like this. But done already did what I need to do with my brethren's phone. So I'm saying, rah. They said, open the door. I said, I'm not touching nothing. You understand? I said, I'm not opening up no door. So they're trying to smash the window. My window wouldn't smash. So they smashed my friend's window, dragged him out. You know what I'm saying to you? Then after that, they opened my door, dragged me out. and that was it. So when I got arrested, it's like they wanted to shoot, man. You understand? And it's not even a joke. That's why I didn't. That's why I said
That
to
was their
myself,
excuse when they're telling you to bust the window.
Yeah, because obviously because of the seriousness of the thing that I got arrested for. Because there was like 4 guns in it at the time, and I can't remember how much bullets there was. There was loads though, and there was drugs in the car as well. So they wasn't even caring about anything else apart from, yeah, we've got him.
Prison for me, if we're going all the way back to like Feltham days, like 2005, I remember landing on induction wing. And I remember there's this fella there, he's just looking at me, I was thinking, what does this guy want? Anyway, it's gone like 3 days. And this guy, I overheard him talking. He's like, wow, that's my man's brother. We've ended up having a fight over the pool table. That was my first like fight in prison. And then from Feltham, went to Portland where it was a bit rough. Like I had I had a couple fights in Portland. That was probably the roughest jail as a YO. I remember some fella stabbed me on free floor. Ended up having a little fight, fell on the floor of each other, got stopped, went block and all of that. It's not until when adult prisons where it started getting a lot more relaxed. No one really had much of a point to prove. But now they started doing mixing jails, innit? So you got like 18-year-olds with 21-year-olds and adults and stuff now. So there's still the youngsters with little egos and that, trying to prove things and that. I got approached a couple times when I was in high down. I was a lump back then, innit? So no one really wanted to fight me physically. It's all like, oh, there's my man, like with their little knives. And I was like, come in here, let's have a fight then or whatever. Because I don't mind. I was quite good at fighting.
It depends as well, you know, who you are when you go to prison, because sometimes you go to when you go to prison, there's a lot of people you're gonna know there. You understand? Always. A lot of people. So it depends who you are and depends who you come across. So life can be easy going into certain prison, because as soon as you go there, because even when I was in prison, after that time, obviously settling down, anyone that came in, I was making sure they're all right. Even if I don't know them, I was making sure you got food, you know what I'm saying? So I'm always trying to cater for people. Some prison, it could be easy, some prison could be hard, you know what I'm saying to you? Because remember, some people don't have money. And sometimes to make a phone call, you understand, you have to wait a week.
To get your phone credit on.
To get your phone credit on, to do this. So the system becomes a thing like, right, you know what, people end up going to have phones, and something. So people want to keep in contact with their kids. Like for me, I wanted to tell my son good night every night.
Remember, I was being shipped out of Wandsworth. I had my phone with me, and my friend was like, just bank it. So I wrapped up in clean form. I thought, I'm violating myself. I can't do this, man. But do you know what I found hard in prison? You know, I was looked after. My friends looked after me with money, so I always had everything. But it's when I see people with nothing in their cells, that used to hurt me. And that's one thing I'd say, when people do go to prison, they rely on a lot of family members and friends to send them money. And that's a lot of stress on them, you know?
Because they don't know what the family's going through at the time. When I first went to prison, my mum sent me £100. And I told my mum, I said, don't you ever in your life ever do that again.
Yeah.
And she's like, why no? I said, Mum, if you want money, I'll send you money. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever you do that again. You know what I'm saying to you?
You learn to manage your money, you know? You know, like when we used to like clean the wings, we used to get like £11 a week. So you put like £5 on your phone credit. You probably buy a few tins of mackerel to whip up in the kettle. Like you learn to really live basic. That's one thing I appreciate about prison. I know how to live basic outside. I'm still eating tins of tuna and mackerel, and I've still got the same diet and stuff. I actually enjoy my tuna and crackers every day.
But you know the worst thing is? There's so much talented people in prison here, you would never believe it. When I went to prison, my son was like 3 years old, going to be 4. So being in his life, in the sun for the last 3 years before I went to prison, I felt I had a responsibility and something. So when that time came and I ended up in prison, it hit me to kind of realize that, right, like I grew up in the sun without my dad half of obviously my life, and now my son's going through the same pattern, you know what I'm saying? So what I try to do, I try to kind of do as much as I can from inside to kind of keep him on the straight and narrow path. And to this day, you understand, he's been on the straight and narrow path. And it's good for us to be here right now to kind of speak in, so people can understand where we come from, you know what I'm saying? And try to steer them away from what we've obviously derailed from, you know what I'm trying to say? So
there's no winners in this crime thing. You know, when people losing their lives, like being stabbed or shot, you got people losing their lives, you got people getting 30-year sentences. There's no winners in this. Like, it's tiring. Like, I've grown up in this. It's absolutely tiring. I got a 17-year sentence for armed robbery. I left a 2-year-old girl. I come out to 11-year-old girl with mad attitude, and I blame myself for that a little bit. But mate, on our first visit we had, she come when she was leaving on the visit. She's like, "You come home now, Daddy." Imagine being stuck on a visit table, knowing you can't leave the doors, and you got a 2-year-old beautiful little girl saying, "You come home now, Daddy."
And you have to lie.
And you gotta lie. I had to hold the tears. I had to hold the lump. To this day, I get goosebumps about it. You gotta realize we affected a lot of people going in prison, and
because you have to think of it like this here. Even though we're doing our sentence, it's not just us that, you understand, it's a ripple effect. So our family had to go through a lot. If I could turn back time, I would, you know what I'm saying to you? Because obviously now I know who I am, and I didn't know I had abilities or gifts or, you know what I'm saying, talent. So for me, I didn't focus on anything apart from selling drugs, and that was it.
as I got older, I realised I need to ask for help. If I don't know something, just ask.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'd say to the youngsters. If you're struggling with anything, don't be embarrassed to ask for help.
Yeah, it's pride, isn't it? Remember, some people got pride and some people, you understand, and pride is a thing that a lot of people would obviously not swallow. You know what I'm saying? Just to ask a simple question.
So I realised since I come out of jail, I used to have a good lifestyle. I used to have nice cars, nice little chains and stuff. I've let all of that go. I come out, I drive a little Focus and that now. I feel like I've got a weight off my shoulders. Like, I'm not trying to impress anyone. I'm just being myself now, and I'm enjoying life a whole lot more than I did when I was a kid.
I was arrested for a murder and I was released without charge and went to a pub in the night time, walking back with a girl. Apparently one of my so-called mates phoned up the shooters and told them which way I was walking, and that's when I got shot 27 times.